Hey guys, welcome back to another review. This is my third time reviewing this movie because I keep forgetting to add something about the film that I want to talk about. It is very late, so if I say something that um, a little bit weird, I'll try to elaborate it. But this is my third time trying to review this movie, but I'm gonna get through it. Um, Malcolm and Mary. So, Malcolm and Mary is, of course, the latest from Netflix. It stars Zendaya and John David Washington. It is written and directed by Sam Levinson, and it tells the story of a filmmaker and his girlfriend as they return home from the filmmaker's world premiere of his latest movie, and they start to talk about a lot about their relationship, and secrets get revealed, and arguments are made, and you kind of can spell out how the film plays out a little bit, or at least that's kind of the gist what the film is about. Um, Going into it, I was pretty excited. I've enjoyed Euphoria, at least the bits that I saw from it. I think that Sam Levinson's slow burn in terms of a director is, in terms of how he utilizes it and how much he draws out his scenes. I think that it's a benefit to a lot of his pieces, particularly with Euphoria. In a lot of the episodes that he directs. I think does he direct? I think he directs all of them. I think he does. I'm not sure. Um, but I really liked his choice of filmmaking style within Euphoria, and just allowing his actors to just have as much time to express themselves on camera. Um, so so that was something that I really was really looking forward to with Malcolm and Mary. And needless to say, technical wise, there's some stuff that I think really worked, and then narratively speaking, there are a lot of issues with it. Now, first thing that we'll get into, I will say right off the bat, is that the cinematography is well balanced. I think that it's a visually a well balanced film. I think the choice of black and white really enhances the environment well enough. I'm a sucker for black and white, so I also thought that the utilization of the space really worked. I like just the way that they utilized the house. It never felt claustrophobic. The characters are always in different settings within the house. They're either in the bathroom, either in the kitchen, they're either in the living room, either they're outside of the house. They're always moving around, and the viewer is always engaged in that front. You never feel like you're always stuck in one place and you're becoming tiresome of seeing the same visual imagery. You're always getting different images and different settings within the house. So I appreciated the camera work and just the shot placements and just the shot choices in general in the film, because that part kept me interested. Because narratively speaking, that's where my engagement started to fall apart. Now, it also should be noted that this movie was filmed during COVID-19. I believe they filmed in like 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks in just a house that they rented out. And okay, this is now what, the third mainstream film to come out that's either is about COVID-19 or was filmed during COVID-19. Um, I think after this review, um, I hope it's made clear about my point about COVID-19. At least movies that are either filmed during the pandemic or about the pandemic right now, we really need to not do this right now. I mean, it's not narratively satisfying, it's not creatively satisfying, and Malcolm and Mary is another example of it, because this movie suffers tremendously from two key things, and those two key things are also the two key things that should have actually made the film work, but unfortunately it doesn't. And those two things are this. One is the chemistry. I think the chemistry was not natural at all. I felt it was forced. I felt it was out of place. And I actually thought that one of these characters, at least from my analysis of the trailer I did a while back, I actually thought that one of these characters wasn't really there. And while watching the film, with having that idea in mind, I thought, man, a lot of this stuff would be justified if this element was presented. It didn't. This element wasn't presented though. Um, what was introduced though was a tangent, and then another tangent, and then another tangent, and it's just the script is just full of drivel. I mean, it's filled with drivel because the scenes are overly drawn out to the point of frustration, and all the scenes really amount to nothing. Like I said, it's another tangent, another tangent, another tangent, And they think within those tangents that they're expressing big, but they're really just going on meaningless like tirades and rants, and that just go nowhere. Like they really amount to nothing. Um, and um, with that, my attachment to the characters and my overall attachment to the story and my overall engagement with the story began to drag and began to fall really fast, particularly with Zendaya's character, Mary. I found Mary to be a very unlikable character. Um, Her motivations and our understanding of Mary comes to at the very end, but throughout the entire film, you do not root for Mary at all. She is extremely petty, extremely ignorant, extremely what is it? Just uh, 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 selfish and just like just all that's all just sensitive as fuck. Like it's just like, at least for me, it's the type of girl that you would not want. Someone who is just going to just like break you, but break like you, if you're going to be in a relationship, you should hope for that type of idea, like like that that feeling of being, that, how should I say it, like because I don't want to give off the wrong idea. When you're in a relationship, the feeling is that it's always, loving unconditionally, always loving regardless of what's happened, and also brutal honesty, or not brutal honesty, but you know what I mean, like honesty within the relationship. That's what I think are, I think the two components to a great relationship is the honesty and uh, just the spirit of it too, just having fun. And I feel like Mary represents, at least for me anyway, the type of girl that I don't want. Because she's honest. I mean, she's honest with her points, but what she is saying is just like, no, thank you. you know, she's also within that. Also, I think she's very creepy, and I think that again, I don't think that that's how the character was meant to be showcased, and I think that Zendaya, again, I think she does a good job with her performance, but I just didn't like her character. And the film is not trying to make me not like her character. Is I thought they were going to do a Casey Affleck thing. I thought that they were going to change her. I thought we were going to, because in the Manchester by the Sea, the film that I'm going to talk about, of Casey Affleck, throughout the first like few minutes, you actually think this guy's an asshole. But then once they introduce the element of his family, his losing his two kids, you completely understand, and the movie is completely justified in showing Casey Affleck's character in this particular state of being. With this film, however, we never see the switch, we never see the revelation for the audience. We never are given that component, and because of that, you're just completely frustrated every time that Zendaya says something, and it just makes her character more and more harder to like. But and Malcolm is, I mean, Malcolm and Mary, I mean, yes, they both are flawed characters, but Malcolm, I would say, is even less flawed. Yeah, he's ignorant. Yeah, he's egotistical. Yes, he has may or may not have certain motivations, but Malcolm, at least to me, is a character that did love Mary, but then Mary brought up this fucking psychoanalysis that just completely derails their relationship and completely makes Malcolm just emotionally wrecked. And again, you don't feel that Mary is a great character, and I don't like that how Malcolm ends up. I actually feel sorry for Malcolm, even though Malcolm, yes, is flawed and he did make some bad mistakes towards Mary. But you completely favor Malcolm in this movie, in my particular opinion. You don't favor a lot of John Day Washington scenes, because there is a long scene. I don't know if I just mentioned it, but there's a long scene involving him talking about a review. It goes on for too damn long. That scene should have been cut down way shorter, and it really got annoying. And um, that's the problem with doing a film that is all about tangents, because this film is one big tangent, and tangents to a certain point all get annoying. Because for a while there's an interesting concept to explore here. It's miscast talent. I just gotta say it. I think the talent was miscast. Even though they're both good performers, I just don't think that they worked well together. And an overly ignorant and up its own ass script really created a frustrating environment that ultimately becomes boring, repetitive, and just unlikable. And believe me, it's not bad. It's not a bad film. There's some decent elements to find in there, and some hints to a great film. But ultimately, you're watching a film that is just mediocre at best. It's like I said, it's not bad, but it's far from great.